Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's a wonderful rainy day here. Honestly, it's a lot like the weather outside right now. It rains a lot here. Um, if my math is correct, which it very rarely is, but I'm pretty sure it is this time, we have reached episode 10. A big old milestone, right? We love episode 10 because episode 10 initiates phase 2 of all of our plans, right? In episode 10, we start new projects, we do new things. And boy, do I have something for you. All right. Now that the weather's a bit more pleasant out, it's dawn here. It's the sun's coming up. We get to watch it rise over the beautiful tower and the forest in the distance as it blinds us right there. But it is lovely here when the sun comes up. I think I should probably tell you what we have planned for episode 10 because I just kind of threw it at you and then didn't tell you what, did I? That mountain up there. We've talked about it a couple times, maybe once. I don't know. I've mentioned it before. I know that for sure. That mountain up there. This one. That mountain. Right there. It goes up if we come in here, right? And we go and we look at the map, right? We've got a map of our little town here. We go inside. That mountain extends pretty far up, right? And there's a lot of area right in there that would be perfect for a certain type of building. Now, the ones of you who have watched every episode all the way through and know that I've mentioned this before will know what building I'm talking about. Those of you who haven't, well, I'm going to take pity on you, even though you should have watched every episode through. But that's fine, whatever. We're going to build an absolutely giant castle on top of that mountain. Right where those trees are, right there. Actually, technically just to the left of that. Right there. And it's gonna go right, but it's gonna start there, where you see that little like fissure with the lantern? Yeah, there you go. You can see it just in between, right there. Yep. So I've dug up there and I've scattered it all out, and that looks like the perfect place to build a castle. So we're gonna build a castle up there, and that castle is going to include towers and turrets and maybe a cathedral and what's the word? Foyer and a dining hall and dungeons and all sorts of awesome stuff that castles have because I love castles. But the first thing any castle needs is, well, a way to get to it. And I don't think it's very fitting for a castle to have just a grass pathway that you have to hike up every time you want to go inside or come down to the rest of the village. It feels kind of dumb, right? And hopefully you agree with me because otherwise I just kind of look like an idiot. So hopefully you agree with that statement as well. Having an actual pathway up to the castle is probably useful. Now, with that said, we have to build that, right? They don't just come with the castle. Like, you can't go to Castles R Us and just buy an entryway. We have to do all the work because that's kind of the point here, isn't it? We do all the work. So, while last episode I was complaining about spending all this time farming and getting the villagers upgraded, I had a lot of time to wait because I needed to wait for paper because that was really the only way for me to get enough emeralds to start leveling these guys up. So while I did that, I also got Blackstone, which you guys saw. But on top of getting Blackstone, I got a bunch more Deep Slate. And I proceeded to get mending on all my gear and get Deep Slate because, well, I kind of planned this out. Who would have thought I can plan things? And I got the materials and I've selected the way I'm going to build it and it's all ready to go. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so with that time lapse over, we have built, well, the majority of the staircase. It's not quite done. We still need to add one major thing to it because right now it's got some serious Harry Potter syndrome, meaning it's floating and it doesn't make a lot of sense. But I added some lights up here as well as down at the bottom there, as you saw as we passed through, just to prevent some mob spawning. It's also made this really interesting pattern effect because snow melts within a couple blocks of a light source, and so it's meant that these what's it snow, jeez, man, that was rough. The lanterns have caused the snow to melt in this really interesting way, so that's fun. Because it was raining just a couple minutes ago, which meant it was snowing up in the mountains. This staircase, honestly, it's very simple, but just the way it's done with the little cracks here and there and the very repeating pattern, right? I wish we could make cracked brick stairs. That would be really cool. I'm also realizing as I say that I didn't add any cracked deep slate to this platform. So it looks a little too well put together. So let's do that. Just a couple pieces. Don't overdo it. Just enough to make it look like it's been worn a little bit, right? This staircase needs support, right? So we've got towards the bottom end, right? Especially on this side, you can definitely see it. It's supported by the ground right up until about here-ish, yeah, where this lamp is. And then it stops being supported. And then on the other side, it stops being supported at around, actually, I think about the same. Yeah, 1 block further, actually. But we need some proper support, right? We can't just have this staircase floating all the way up to the abyss because, well, staircases don't do that, and most things don't float. Actually, nothing floats. It's supposed to stay still, so that's fine. We need to fix that. And so we're going to do that by adding in some arches, right? I don't want to call them the golden arches because they're not, but we're going to add some arches. I need to stop holding things in my hands. My God. We're going to add some arches. And we're going to do that. And I don't know what block quite I want to use. I do want to keep with the dark theme. But I'm unsure if I'm going to go and get a bunch of stuff for concrete and use that, or if I have enough material to just do it. And I don't think I do. So either we're going to go and get stuff for gray concrete, like dark gray concrete, or we're going to build it out of deep slate or blackstone. And I definitely don't have enough blackstone for it. And I definitely don't have enough deep slate. So either way, we're going to have to go get some materials. We could do it out of cobblestone, but that's definitely going to be too light. So let's see what or gray dye. Dark gray concrete, black concrete. There's no dark gray, is there? Dark. No, there's not. That's kind of unfortunate. I was hoping that maybe we could use dark gray, but it doesn't look like it. Yeah, we'll have to go and get some deep slate, but let's have a look just before we go and decide on our material, right? And go and spend all this time gathering it. Let's just quickly go in and make a slight arch. Okay, we've got some blackstone. We've got cracked deep slate, but not normal deep slate. That's fine though, because it will just give us the color. We're not looking for the aesthetic. We're just looking for the color. Or we are looking for the aesthetic. We're not looking for the specifics. Alright, so with that, we have finished the arches. And I've never done anything like this before in a build. Like, I've done builds of this scale previously. I don't think in these series, but like personal builds previously, like to this level. But I've never done like a gradient kind of thing. Like, all my builds are, of course, themed, right? We've got the brown and pink building with the blue accents, and then we have the bluey green and tan with the blue accents, right? And then the stone, and then over here you've got the tan and brown, and then you've got the brown and gray, right? They're all themed around a couple color palettes, right? That's an easy thing. I can do color palettes. Gradients are something I'm trying to learn, right? And it's not perfect, but I am proud of how it turned out for a first attempt at getting that kind of gradient, right? I'm definitely really happy with how the stairs have turned out. I think it looks really nice and clean. The arches, I wish I had a slightly different color layout, but I couldn't quite find exactly what I was looking for. But I think they've turned out rather nicely, and I feel like the lanterns fit really nicely. They are a little much, I will say, but I do love my lanterns, so you guys are just going to have to deal with it if you don't like them. So, yeah, the staircase is all done now, basically. It goes all the way up from the base path of the village all the way to the tippy top of the hill. It doesn't go all the way up to the summit, but here is where we will be building the entryway and the main area of the castle. I'm holding a light source. Yeah, the entryway and just everything, the start of the castle, right? This is the lead up to it, and it also gives us a really wonderful view of what's down below, right? You can see everything, and you can see where we're going to place other buildings, like down there and over there and back there, and then eventually up into these woods here as we need more space. And it gives you a really great overview of what this place is going to turn into. But with that, I'm afraid it's time to end. So if you have enjoyed, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. That's always lovely, isn't it? But as always, I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.